Hello and welcome, fellow Sovereigns. And I have been being told off lately, and so I'd like to share two stories that show us the power of our minds. So the first one is they're both true stories, which is most unusual for me. They're true, and the first one happened in the early 1970s. So there was Bill Thetford and Helen Schucman, who were clinical psychologists in a medical university in America. And it was a very, very unpleasant, full of conflict type environment to be in. All the professors were fighting for a slice of the budget, and they were fighting each other and saying, my study is more important than your study. And there's just a whole constant stuff going on about mine, and I'm more important than you, and da 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 da. And as well as that sort of larger environment that they were in, Helen and Bill were having conflict with each other. So Bill was kind of the boss, and Helen was working under him in the department. And this had been going on for a couple of years. It was getting worse. It was not getting better. And eventually, Bill had enough. And I don't know the details or the actual conversation that they had, but it went something like this. Bill asked Helen to can we just sit down together and be open to the fact that there has to be a better way. Because as Bill said, this is not working. Yours and my relationship, professional relationship's not working. Our relationship with the university and everything that's going around, it's not working for anyone. And Helen was sort of initially in that mindset of, well, I don't know what the solution is. Bill said, no, nor do I. Neither of us know the solution, but let us stand in the possibility that there is a better way. And that was Bill's main message. There's got to be a better way than this, what's happening. So they did. They stood in the presence of possibility, if you like. That's not their words, that's mine. And it all started with Bill saying there has to be a better way. So within a very short time, I think within a month, the Course of Miracles started turning up to Helen, and then between them, they transcribed it. And that was the better way. But it started with two people being open to the possibility that there was something beyond the problems that they had. There were possibilities. They did not know what they were, but they just presumed there would be some. And so they asked, wherever you ask, there's got to be a better way. So that's one. The second little story, which happened today, so I do quite a lot of cycling, and every now and then I get sick of bending over the bars, cycling along, so I change my stance. And I sit up, hands on my hips, and just steer with balance. And away we go. So I was doing that along quite a wide path today, footpath, pavement in some countries. And I realized I was in the middle of the footpath, and I thought, well, if someone comes along behind me, it's going to be easier if I'm on the left rather than the middle. So in my mind, I just thought I'll go to the left, and in that second, there I was. I was not aware of any bodily movement of sort of wiggling or balance, whatever, to get the bike to the left-hand side. I simply thought left, and there I was. And maybe in some infinitesimal way, my body did do the movement, but I was not aware of it. It did not need my input, my deliberation, my purposefulness. All it needed was me to say to myself, I'll just move over to the left. And there I was. So why am I being told off? So at the moment, there are a lot of problems in the world. There have always been lots of problems. These ones seem to be bigger, more universal, worldwide, if you like. And Yes, I absolutely agree. There's some terrible things going on. There are some really stupid things going on. There are really some demonic things going on. However, I find myself, no, that sounds passive. I choose. I choose every now and then when people are discussing something terrible that's going on and they get feverish and they build on it. And my insanity that I'm experiencing is worse than yours. Let's make it worse and worse. So I tend to find myself jumping in and saying, yes, let's acknowledge that there's bad stuff happening, but also let's acknowledge that there is a solution. We don't know what the solution is, but let us stand in the possibility that there is a solution, that there has to be a better way. And so people get really upset, or some people have got upset. About 6 or 7, no, one of them was about 30 people leapt upon me and said I was burying my head in the sand and I was just being naive and stupid and I needed to do my research and all the rest of it. And all I can say is, please, let us just stand in the possibility that there is a solution to whatever the problem is, whether it's a whole lot of problems that are connected together, as many of them are. It doesn't matter how big or complex or how beyond our knowing the problem is. We don't need to know the solution, but we do step forward when we stand in the possibility that there is a solution, not knowing what it is, just being open to possibilities. There has to be a better way, as per Bill. And as kind of a silly example, I guess, of my bike, but my bike just went on its own when I thought about it. So it's an amazingly powerful thing, this mind of ours, not brain, that's a separate thing. Our mind. If we can think solution, even when we don't know what it is. And it's almost like on my push bike, I just thought about it. I didn't actually think, oh, I need to move my body here and I need to do this and I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about the solution. I just knew where I wanted to be. So if we can stand in the possibility without knowing, having no idea what the solution could be, where it could come from, who it could come from, when it could arrive, just in the absolute openness and breathing in, knowing there's a solution. And so I suggest every time a problem arises, acknowledge the problem and then step into solution and watch the magic happen. And so today I wish you the openness of solutions that we don't know exist and watching the magic happen. And I bless you and all who sail in her.